Rossi now is being gapped. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It is over 1 second now. I think Rossi's going to have to settle for second place.
I think last time around was Rossi's last throw of the dice, and it's not going to pay off because the gap is 1.1 seconds. Last time around, Pedrosa was 6/10 of a second. This will be a dagger to the heart of Rossi. Of course, he would have loved to have won in front of 100,000 fans here, but
this is over. I think, don't you? Unless Pedrosa hits big tyre problems now.
Well, Danny Pedrosa's got to make a mistake now in the last couple of laps because it's his race to lose. You're absolutely right, Nick. He's absolutely ridden brilliantly. It was Pedrosa, the predator, in the first half of the race. He worked his way through the pack, and once he pounced, well, he hasn't really looked like surrendering this lead, to be fair to Danny Pedrosa.
I've got to say, this is as good as I've seen Danny Pedrosa ride in all three classes of Grand Prix racing. This is classic.
Where's he been? This was a Danny Pedrosa we expected right from the get-go in Qatar. We know he struggled to adapt to those Michelin tyres. These hot conditions do favour him. He doesn't have those worries about generating heat into the tyres. Yeah, he's taken another 4/10 of a second out of Rossi through sector 2 on this penultimate lap. The gap now is 1.5 seconds. This Misano MotoGP race is there for the taking for Danny Pedrosa.
He would become the 8th Grand Prix winner of the season, which would be a record in the Premier class of Grand Prix racing. It's just what MotoGP is about at the moment. It's picked up another 1/10 of a second through the third sector. It's across the line. 1 lap to go. 4.226 kilometres. 2.626 miles. Danny Pedrosa chasing his first victory of the season.
Danny Pedrosa's not been in this position for almost a year. Malaysia, Sepang last October, the last time we saw him stand on the top step of the podium, but Danny Pedrosa comes through turn 4. This is where he took the lead with that aggressive move on Valentino Rossi a few laps ago. Safely through 4 and 5 for Pedrosa. His lead now is up to 1.6 seconds.
20 precious World Championship points. There he is, Phil Reed, 125, 250 and 500cc World Champion looks on. Rossi now has settled for second place. His 20 precious World Championship points with Marquez down in 4th place. Danny Pedrosa, half a lap to go. He's at the far end of the circuit. Turns 9 and 10.
You have to feel Danny Pedrosa, look, he had a good look twice there over his right shoulder just to see where Valentino Rossi was. Well, Valentino Rossi's not in contention. Pedrosa then comes through turn 11 for the very last time. History beckons for the Spanish rider. Pedrosa safely through turn 12 and 13.
He's safely through 14. This is where he overtook Marc Marquez and Jorge Lorenzo. Rossi now settling for second place. His dad looks on, arms folded. History in the making. Danny Pedrosa is going to become the 8th winner this season in a MotoGP. Danny Pedrosa wins here in Misano.
Pedrosa, the master of Misano, history in the MotoGP World Championship. Valentino Rossi put up a valiant fight for second place. Jorge Lorenzo back on the podium in 3rd. Marc Marquez, a lonely and pretty disconsolate 4th place for the World Championship leader. Maverick Vinales crosses the line in 5th. Andrea Dovizioso will be the top Ducati rider in 6th place. Great ride there by Ducati test rider Michele Pirro to take 7th place. Cal Crutchlow, top independent team rider in 8th, just ahead of Paul Espargaro in 9th.
What about Alvaro Bautista? Will he put that Aprilia in 10th place? He has done exactly that. So only 10 riders across the line at the moment. Danilo Petrucci, Stefan Bradl, 11th and 12th respectively. 13th is Hector Barbera. 14th should be Eugene Lafferty, the 30-year-old Irish rider. He's across the line and completing the points, scoring the man that finished 3rd here last year, Scott Redding.
Well, the reason I'm sure we were looking at Phil Reed there was because Danny Pedrosa now has tied a certain British rider, Phil Reed, on 52 Grand Prix victories in his career. Valentino Rossi, it wasn't the win he wanted, it was 20 important points for the World Champion. He did all he could. He had nothing but Danny Pedrosa in those final few laps. He resisted for as long as he could, but
Marquez, and if he keeps doing that, it could be a little bit close at the end of the season. Lorenzo hangs on the 3rd place. Pedrosa now closing up, though, a little bit more on Jorge Lorenzo. Pedrosa's retaken 4th place from Maverick Vinales. Can we get another winner in Aragon in 2 weeks' time?
well, I mean, these are heady days if you're a MotoGP fan. We said about it being a golden era at the British Grand Prix in Silverstone. Well, look at that sequence. 8 different winners in 8 MotoGP races in 2016. In the Premier class, we started way back in 1949. That has never happened.
Ternyata yang jadi master di Misano kali ini adalah Pedrosa. Siapa yang memperhitungkan bahwa Pedrosa hari ini akan jadi juara di Misano? Kenapa? Karena sebenarnya agak sedikit aneh gitu ya. Dari free practice dia pace-nya juga nggak secepat Valentino Rossi. Betul. Dan juga Jorge Lorenzo. Makanya semua pasti jagoin Jorge Lorenzo dan Valentino Rossi, bahkan Marc Marquez dan Vinales juga. Nah cuman tadi pas kita udah lihat dari lap-lap awal ya Joni, agak sedikit aneh nih, kenapa cuman satu-satunya Pedrosa yang pakai pilihan ban soft. Betul. Kenapa Joni? Agak aneh juga sih sebenarnya kalau dilihat dari postur tubuh cocok memang gitu kan.